The Great Resignation.
The Great Resignation.
The Great Resignation.
The Great Resignation.
Americans are quitting jobs in record numbers.
In August 2021, almost 4.3 million Americans quit their job.
A record 20-year high.
So we have this mixture of good and bad and unprecedented.
But exactly who is doing the quitting and where are they actually moving along to? Here to
Wait, that's me.
Okay, so quick introduction. My name is Josh Kim, and I'm a quitter. After I graduated from undergrad in 2019, I snagged a job quickly at a local newspaper and became the city council and police reporter. Then boom, the pandemic hit and it made me realize how much I hated my job. So I quit, and now I'm at the Newhouse School to find out what I really want to do with my life. Quitting sucked because I felt like a failure who couldn't suck it up and get through it. But it turns out I wasn't alone.
The demographics basically run across a lot of different types. You have young people.
You have mothers that are challenged with child care. You have older workers that have basically decided to take this time and stay through it and retire.
At the heart of the Great Resignation is the COVID-19 pandemic. Being isolated at home for months as the world fell apart created the perfect condition for some deep self-reflection. AKA, why the hell are we doing this shit and is it even worth it? I know my story, but I wanted to hear from other people whose view on work culture changed during the pandemic. So I flew to Minneapolis, Minnesota and zoomed into Richmond, Virginia to interview fellow quitters like me, Elizabeth Bonin and Lydia Woods. This is Quitter. I finally made it to downtown Minneapolis after getting to the airport around 1:30 this morning. It's currently 11 p.m. Hello.
My name is Elizabeth Bonin and I live in St. Paul, Minnesota.
My name is Lydia Woods. I am an administrative assistant. Currently, I am a front desk coordinator at a mental health therapy office.
So at our old job at OCT, I was a staff writer covering the county news. So it was anywhere between 6 and 12 articles a week.
So before this job, I was working as an administrative assistant at a church. I got switched to part-time, so I found a second job at a COVID employee health hotline through a university.
So many things caused me to quit. Where to even start? I think the first thing that comes to mind is just how often we worked. It was easily more than 40 hours a week. I would say for me, it started out as not necessarily weekend work all the time. It was only every once in a while, but as time went on, it became a regular expectation to work weekends every single week. And then I think the pay was also really tough. We actually could not afford to live in the town that we worked in or anywhere super close to it. So I lived about 45 minutes away.
I had the church job too. That one, I quit in like April from them because they moved me part-time. So my paychecks went from like 900 something to like 300 something. And they didn't cut down my workload or like they didn't take back any of like my responsibilities. So they were expecting the same like level of work.
I think in journalism we're often taught and expected to just pick up and move wherever for the love of the job, regardless of where it is, regardless of who you know. And so I did that and it was awful because I didn't know anyone and it was really hard to make friends in a small town in Maryland, especially because it was a coastal community, which meant that it was very seasonal. So by the time winter hit, there was hardly anyone in the area. So my only friends were my coworkers, and that is just not enough to sustain a social life.
There were a lot of times where there would just be so many calls to the hotline that like I didn't really get to take a lunch break. I just like kind of worked through it. They didn't have a third admin person for the COVID hotline yet, so it was just two of us. And yeah, there was only one day that I got off, and that was Christmas. Yeah, between the two jobs. And so like that really took a toll on my mental health for sure.
I think the pandemic influenced my decision even more because so much of the messaging coming out from everywhere about staying home and staying safe and using that time to reconnect with friends and family, I wasn't able to do that. Another one of the messages I would say was sent out during the pandemic was limit your social media use. Don't look at the news as much. Don't stress yourself out by studying COVID statistics. Well, when that's your job, you don't get to take a break from that. So it definitely took a toll on my mental health as well, just having to be so hyper aware of everything that was going on.
My views of work ethic and everything have kind of like switched a little bit. It used to be hard for me to like take days off without feeling guilty or like go on vacations without feeling guilty. And I feel like now I kind of just like do it whenever I feel like it. And I'm just like, you're benefiting from me working for you. So like, I deserve time off and I deserve time to myself.
My mentality towards work has changed quite a bit. Before I took the job, I was definitely in the ranks of journalists ready to just throw themselves into work to make it into journalism because it is really tough to get it in. And so once I had that in, I was ready to move to a small town where I didn't know anyone. I thought, I'll make friends there. It'll be great. I'll explore other places, and then soon realized the reality that it's a lot tougher than it sounds. And as the months went on, I slowly began to think more that it just wasn't worth it anymore. The job it wasn't fulfilling. I think we often tell ourselves that, oh, the job we love, it's worth it though. It's worth it to not get paid well. It's worth it to not have great benefits. It's worth it to not really have a social life. And it's not. It's really not.
Yeah, I don't care. It like if you're a quitter, whatever, I don't know. I just feel like people deserve a certain level of respect and like value somewhere that they're working for sure. So I would think it's a good thing because if you're looking for more for yourself, I wouldn't see quitting as a bad thing because you just, you're seeking what you deserve. And at the end of the day, if you're growing beyond the company that you're currently working for, then why wouldn't you quit?
My life has changed for the better in so many different ways. I moved to the Twin Cities where quite a few of my friends are, so I had the chance to reconnect with them. Having a social life is great. And I'm getting paid almost twice as much as I was when I was a journalist, so that's been huge. I know there's the saying, money doesn't buy you happiness, but that only really goes so far because money has bought me the ability to go out with my friends to a brewery. It's bought me the ability to have a nicer apartment. It's bought me the ability to do fun things for my mental health, like have my tumbling class or go on a road trip to the West Coast. Those are all things that either I couldn't do or I would have had to budget and plan very carefully to be able to do. And I think people in our generation and our age are unlearning what our older generations, our parents and our teachers have taught us about work, that you find this one job and you stick to it and you give everything you have to the company. Whereas now it's more shifted towards, yes, like I'm going to put my work in and I'm going to do my best, but I'm not going to make myself miserable for it. My identity is not mixed in with this job. So if I leave, it doesn't have an effect on who I am other than I've decided to put myself and my mental health and also your physical well-being above just a job. It's just a way for me to have the means to do what I really enjoy.
And my last question is simply, are you happy now? Elizabeth, are you happy?
I just love how
Elizabeth, quick question. Are you happy? Are you happy, yes or no?
Yes. I'm happy. I'm so happy right now. It's pretty good, yeah. I am happy. Yes, very happy. I'm very happy.